Welcome everybody, my name is Michael and today we're discussing about the infamous MtGox. It is one of the craziest stories in all of cryptocurrency and it's one of the first exchanges that was around. So it does have a very important aspect in our history books when we're going to be writing that for cryptocurrency and in Bitcoin's history. However, it's infamous for a reason. It's because a lot of people lost money. Mark Capellis, the CEO and founder, well, not really founder, he bought the company from another individual. So let's just say CEO, he went to jail. He was arrested in Japan and he was a pretty fat guy like myself right now. He went to jail and then he came out skinny. So I guess that's the solution. No, but seriously, he went to jail for... there was a bunch of reasons, but basically a lot of money was lost and creditors suddenly got really upset about that. But Mark, maybe this was his master plan all along. You see, the price of Bitcoin went up, and in Japan, the law dictates that if an investor loses money, or if somebody who's using an exchange loses their money, the total amount has to be repaid from that date that they lost it. So meaning, if Bitcoin used to be worth $100, but now it's worth $40,000, only the sum of $100 times whatever multiple, how many Bitcoins they had, needs to be repaid. So a lot of people were very frustrated, and this has been going on for years and years. But there's two options here. And in either case, Mark Capellis came out of this, and he might be a multimillionaire. So MtGox creditors can claim up to 90% of the Bitcoin left in the bankruptcy. Creditors of the bankrupt cryptocurrency exchange MtGox will be presented with two options. So first of all, there's a deal between MtGox's bankruptcy trustee and MGI FLP. It's a unit of Fortress Investment Group, and it'll be presented to creditors for a simple up or down vote. If it gets upvoted, creditors would be able to claim a lot of the Bitcoins, up to 90%, where back in 2014, it filed for bankruptcy after admitting it had lost 850,000 Bitcoins, 750,000 of which belonged to its customers. So if we do the math right now, 750,000, this is an insane amount of Bitcoins. Oh man, 750,000. 27,323,850,000. Now, a total of 850,000 BTC was lost, but this is the 90% that creditors can try and get back. So in total, around $31 billion was lost. But that is using the prices of $36,760 from yesterday's price. So right now, it's worth even more because it's at $37,000. Oh, it dropped by a little bit. But still, at its peak of $42,000, you can see how this is absolutely crazy. So it's not clear how many Bitcoins are actually left of those 750,000 or 850,000 Bitcoins. Investors aren't obligated to take the early payment and can wait for the lawsuits against the former exchange to settle, which announced the deal but is not involved in the settlement. CoinLab said it will continue its litigation. Now there's an issue with these lawsuits. They cost money, they take a lot of time, and even in cases where these companies made millions or even billions of dollars, it's not always an easy option. Oh, you just get the money back and there we go. Because what happens if part of the money is gone? It gets a little bit more complex. And it's already been years. It's been 7 years. This could drag out for a few more years. People are dying because there's a bunch of these guys who lost a lot of money. I mean, how long can it drag out? 10, 20, 30 years? For some people, they lost hundreds of thousands of dollars back then, which if they held on to these BTC, some of these guys could have been multimillionaires themselves. Now, what's interesting about this case is that the lawyers of DPR, Ross Ulbricht, were actually defending him because these two figures were one of the most infamous people in all of cryptocurrency's early years. So they defended him and he was arrested on August 1st, 2015 for embezzlement and on suspicion of having accessed the exchange's computer system to falsify data. He was rearrested and charged with embezzlement. He was released on bail in July 2016, but was required to remain in Japan since he was a French citizen. On July 10, 2017, he pled not guilty to data manipulation charges and embezzlement. And on March 14, 2019, the Tokyo District Court found Capellis guilty of falsifying data to inflate MtGox's holdings by about $33.5 million, for which he was sentenced to 30 months in prison, suspended for 4 years, meaning he will serve no time unless he commits additional offenses over the next 4 years, where so far it's been 2 years right now. Halfway there, Mark. So the Japanese court acquitted Mr. Mark Capellis on a number of other charges, including embezzlement and aggravated breach of trust based on its belief that Capellis had acted without ill intent. In simple words, he just messed up. Basically, he messed up multiple times. In the early days, there was a lot of hacking attacks and DDoS attacks for cryptocurrency exchanges. Sometimes these criminals got away with millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, millions back then. And Mark decided to program the security side of MtGox to try and stop these attacks. In a way, he was successful, but his code screwed up and he lost a few 100,000 BTC, by the way. It just happened, like, well, all right. So because of that, the verdict was basically Mr. Mark Capellis had inflicted massive harm to the trust of his users, and there was no excuse for him to abuse his status and authority to perform clever criminal acts. Capellis issued a statement he was happy to be judged not guilty on the more serious charges and was discussing how to proceed with his lawyers. Well, for the bankruptcy proceedings, MtGox's bankruptcy proceedings basically go like this. Since Japanese law states, hey, you have to repay at the price that BTC used to be at, which technically was at around $483 during the bankruptcy, so maybe it was a little bit less, but who cares? Because $483 is still a lot less than based on the market price of $15,000 at the beginning of 2018, and currently at the price of the $36,000, $37,000, $40,000 per Bitcoin. Some people believe it's going to get to $50,000. We're still in a bull market cycle. The difference is significant. We don't know how many Bitcoins actually still exist, but people predict that technically Mark Capellis could have hundreds of millions of dollars worth of BTC for himself, even maybe potentially billions of dollars. Based on $15,000, it would be $1.4 billion. So $30,000, $2.8 billion. At $40,000, over $3.5 billion. June of 2018, the Tokyo District Court approved a petition by creditors to begin civil rehabilitation. As these proceedings are more flexible, creditors expected that they would be compensated based on the current value of their lost coins. On August 23, 2018, creditors were able to begin filing new claims under the civil rehabilitation proceedings. Under the current schedule, compensation is expected to be distributed in late 2019, where that hasn't really happened yet. So it's just dragging itself out. And some people, they want to pay the lawyers, first of all. They don't have that much money. Some of these guys were just middle-class investors who had a few $1,000s, and then it grew. It was growing back then, and it grew to the point where it is right now. They think they have millions of dollars. Maybe they'll just take pennies on the dollar. I'm sure some of the people would be okay taking that decision. It's messy. It's got a lot of details. So you know what? Let's make a full in-depth video about MtGox this year. I'm going to wait a little bit to see if there's any more news that comes out, probably this month or next month. If not, let's do a video on Mark Capellis and MtGox. We've already done a few on Kubera, but it's time to do some updated ones and longer ones. So thank you for joining in on today's short update, and we shall see you guys in tomorrow's video. Thanks for joining in on every single day. I'm slaying these uploads. Let's do it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, comment, and share. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.